MLW fan Amanda France had a piercing question for me. Hey, Kristen. Oh, hey. I was wondering if you could talk about piercings. I'm a teenage girl and I don't have any piercings, which sets me apart from my friends. Can you explain how ear piercings became so normal and even expected of girls? Well, yes, Amanda France, I can, and I'm even wearing my earrings in preparation. My earlobes are kind of burning, and I'm realizing I probably should have sanitized these earrings before I put them in my ear holes, because it's been honestly years since I've worn them. Condensing the entire global history of ear piercings and earrings into one brief video is challenging, because it turns out that ear piercing is one of, if not the oldest forms of body modification practiced by people all around the world for millennia. One of the oldest known mummies ever discovered, nicknamed Otzi the Iceman, was found with stretched earlobes, which might have come from piercing or from wearing something along the lines of those gauges that you see super cool barista types wear. I don't know why this is my cool barista voice. Ear piercing is not only an ancient tradition, but also a fascinatingly cross-cultural one carried out for all sorts of reasons, including religious persuasions, superstition, rites of passage, celebration, or purely for aesthetic reasons. In ancient Egypt, gold lotus blossom shaped earrings were especially hot among the stylish crowd. Heading farther south in Africa, the Maasai people, who are indigenous to modern day Kenya, have long practiced ear piercing as well. Moving east, ear piercings and even nose piercings have long been traditions in India. In ancient China, before Buddha found religion, he commonly wore heavy ear jewelry, which is why when you see statues of Buddha, he is always depicted with distended, stretched out earlobes. Hopping over an ocean to the Americas, the Aztecs, Mayans, and other indigenous groups might pierce their ears, noses, and tongues for spiritual purposes, and also to make them look even fiercer on the battlefield. Do I look fierce? If we narrow our focus to Europe and the United States, the gendered pattern of ear piercing starts off most notably among men. Famously superstitious sailors would pierce their ears with the belief that it would give them better long-distance sight. Those sailors were trendsetters because by the time the Renaissance era rolled around, well-heeled gentlemen were sporting earrings as a sign of their status and sometimes their availability. Unmarried guys who wanted to impress some maidens would wear super fancy bejeweled earrings to catch their attention and say, hey, you see the size of this earring? Shakespeare? Yeah, he wore an earring. Women at this time were also sporting earrings, and if we move forward to the 17th and 18th century, pearl drop earrings in particular were popular among European and American women, hence the famous Vermeer painting, not to be confused with the movie starring Scarlett Johansson, Girl with the Pearl Earring. What largely determined whether women were wearing earrings in a given era was the popular hairstyle of the day. If it covered the ears, there was really no sense in wearing that ear jewelry. Then you see in the Victorian era, earrings making a comeback as updos are on the rise. Moving into the 20th century, clip-on earrings have a game-changing moment starting in the 1920s. No piercing required. It's actually not until the 1960s that ear piercing becomes a common part of American girlhood as we think of it today. These are my very favorite earrings in the whole wide world because A, they were given to me by one of my best friends, and B, they match my tattoo. And the fast spread of ear piercing among young women in America is an example of the power of teenage culture, which was certainly having a heyday in the 1960s with things like rock and roll, hippies, the sexual revolution, the civil rights movement, etc. Based on all the research I've done, it seems like the answer to why ear piercing is so common among girls and almost expected of them is because one time, not too long ago, girls just decided to start piercing their ears. Sometimes even at home. Insert obligatory health warning about the increased risks of ear infections due to DIY piercings. Or if you want to take an even longer view of it, girls pierce their ears because, well, humans have been piercing their ears for like ever. At least since the days of old Otzi the Iceman. He knew it was up. He had those cool gauges. At a very that's what you get when you try to make puns. Kind of like when people refer to groups of women as females. Okay. The next time you talk to him, you can be like, hey, you want to know what you have in common with a many thousand-year-old mummy? Your gauges. Can I get a macchiato? One more time. As in, Is this a joke? Is this performance art? Getting interrupted by an ice cream truck is not delightful because you know what that means? You can't go out and get ice cream.